What's up, fam, and welcome to this episode of Rex's Photo Booth Reviews and Tutorials. You guys know, whenever we start the episode in the car, it's field trip time, and it's going to be good. Got a factory invite from one of the largest photo booth companies in the world, Photo Booth Supply Co. I mean, how can you turn that down? We're going to get a full tour today and maybe an interview with the founder, Brandon Wong. But before we get into it, you guys know what to do. Help keep this channel alive. Go down below, like, comment, and subscribe. What's up, fam, and welcome back to the channel. We are at the Bat Cave right here, the PBSCO headquarters. This is the heart of the operations, but I want you guys to know that this is not open to the public. This is for PBSCO owners and staff. This is where their logistics happen, and we are going to get a tour with the man himself, Brandon Wong. Oh my God, I am so excited. We are here. We actually get to go inside. As you can see on the windows, deliveries are to the back door. So there's a garage on the other side where logistics go in and out, and it says ring bell for assistance because it's by appointment only. So I'm gonna go ahead and ring the doorbell and see what happens.
Rex, what's going on? Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it.
Brandon right here. Can we get the tour or what?
Let's do it, buddy. Come on.
All right, come on. Let's do the tour. All right. So, what do we got here? This is the greeting room. What do we got here?
This is the foyer. This is a unique welcoming experience because most people have to go in from the other side, but you're coming in from this side now. I want to introduce you to Ruben, our office manager here.
What's up, Ruben?
Rex, how's it going, man?
Good, man. This is what do you got here? This is your desk. This is reception.
This is my office. This is my desk. I'm the warehouse manager and the equipment manager for PBSCO. So I'm in charge of the warehouse and I'm in charge of all the employee equipment. So their booths, their computers, all that stuff, I take care of it. Actually got a computer here that's going to be going out to the team members soon, getting some software installed for them, because we take care of our employees here at PBSCO.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the break room. You guys got snacks?
Of course we got snacks, and we got beverages too.
We got snacks on snacks on snacks.
All right.
So really cool to have you here. An interesting thing about Photo Booth Supply Co. is that even though we have a physical office, our employees are actually located in 15 different states and 10 different countries. So we got 5 awesome people that come into the office daily. And you'll meet many of them today, Rex, and I'm really excited to introduce you. But a majority of the work happens outside of this office.
Very cool. So everybody's remote. Most
employees
are remote.
Absolutely,
okay, that's cool. So do we get to see the tour? Because I think that's what people want to see.
Let's do it. Yeah, this is a quick foyer area. This is Ruben's domain. We have a fun little wall of all of our photo booth pictures that we've taken in the past as well with our various photo booths. We all love taking pictures here at Photo Booth Supply Co. One of our mission statement here is creating meaningful business opportunities to capture memories. We're all very passionate about entrepreneurship, sparking that in people, and from also creating this opportunity to make memories and take pictures, something that you do for many years, right? So we also do it ourselves.
That's awesome. So you're not only sell it, but you're also a client.
I still do photo booth events myself all the time.
Do you? Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. And many of us, I think 40% of our employees also run their own photo booth business as well. So we live and breathe photo booths, man.
What was that transition like coming from photography, though? You were a world-class photographer, and you were tapped for weddings.
Yeah.
What was that transition like coming from photography to photo booth?
Ooh, that's a long answer. Maybe we can talk about that a little later on when we sit down. But it was a good transition. I love at the core taking pictures, capturing memories.
Yeah.
And I think we're doing that at scale with Photo Booth Supply Co. with our tens of thousands of photo booths all over the world, preserving these memories at these fun events. So I'm glad that the legacy is living on. No pun intended there. So we can come over here. This is our conference room.
Okay.
As you know, we don't have a lot of in-person meetings, so this conference room is very rarely used, but it is available when we need it to be.
This is for team member meetings.
Team member meetings,
you got the TV and
Absolutely.
Oh,
we got a little logo here as well.
Signage. You guys build that in-house, or you ordered it? Or
we ordered it.
That's very cool. Yeah. You have the original.
We do have the original logo there as well.
Yeah.
I'm a minimalist, so I try to, try to keep our office fresh and have the newest and latest stuff in here. But Ruben
Yeah.
could not let that old logo go.
You know what though? This looks like art, but I know these are chairs upside down. That is like so cool. Can I take
These are upside down chairs.
I know.
You guys have seen us at PBX. We bring these all the time for people to sit down.
It's fancy.
So yeah, it's good stuff. It's IKEA.
Fancy. Oh, and if you guys didn't get to see, this was like the original logo that they were rocking. Now they're super minimalist, and it's just an O.
Yeah, this is our original logo designed by my good buddy Ross Tanner here. This actually is supposed to be representative of the photo booth enclosure, and this is kind of the camera in here. But ever since we moved to the racetrack design, it felt more sense for us to align our logo with the design of all of our photo booths. So we'll talk about that a little later as well.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, hey, the new logo right there. So
Yes, absolutely. Newish logo.
All right.
We got a quick restroom in there.
Awesome.
We did used to have a Nintendo 64 here, but I think this is an emulator now or something like that, so you can play any game on it.
Even better.
I know.
Snacks and gaming. I love it. All right.
I don't know how often it's used. Another thing I want to point out too is like we're a company that really upholds our core values. Even though people have came here and misspelled everything, though our core values spelled out rocked: respect, ownership, candor, kaizen, excellence, discipline. It's a whole hour-long meeting to go over what all these values represent, but we live and breathe that. That's kind of represented by our guitar here. Spells out rocked.
With the guitar. Oh, rocked.
Rocked. Exactly.
Just out of curiosity, what is Kai's? I got to Google that. What does
Again,
that
we had a nefarious employee, Amanda, come in here and mess with all this because she thought she was funny and never had the time to fix it. But the Kai's means kaizen. It's the Japanese word for continuous improvement. So we want to continuously improve ourselves, continuously improve our business, our processes, our photo booths, which we'll show you in a second. Everything is in constant need of
a lot of car
improving.
manufacturers follow Kaizen.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Very cool.
Great.
All right,
we're going to move on to the main office here. Ruben, if you want to follow me, that'd be great. So here's our little lounge area here. Very comfy couch.
I like it.
Some of you want to relax a little bit, you can actually do a little workout here as well. And
oh my God, you got taking the applications?
Yeah.
Come in. I like this. Does anybody work around here?
Almost always hiring. Always
That's awesome.
hiring.
What is the hardest position to keep on board? Is it more the hardware guys, the software guys?
Yeah, honestly, we don't have a lot of turnover problems. There were maybe a year or two where that might have been a small issue, but we, like I said before, it's really important. Good culture equals good retention, and we really uphold our mission statement and our core values really well. And I think in the past 12 months, we've only had two employees resign out of 70 plus.
Sure.
And a lot of those team members too, we probably were not a good fit in the beginning. So we have a great retention rate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say any single department has higher turnover.
You guys do a lot of retreats here too, I believe.
Yeah.
a lot of company retreats.
Yeah, we've had a retreat every single year since 2022.
Wow.
Gotta remember that. Yeah, our first retreat was in Las Vegas, second one was in Orlando, third one was in Cancun.
Wow. I could swear you did one on the beach somewhere.
Yeah, that was recently in Cancun.
Oh.
Yeah, it was fun stuff.
Cancun, you flew everybody to Cancun.
We flew everybody out to Cancun.
Damn.
We work hard, play hard.
I'm going to get an application on the way out.
So you want to flip the camera here. This is our kitchen area. We always got stocked with beverages here. I don't know what the heck the office team is growing here. I promise it's legal. Microwave, fridge, all the normal stuff. Are there any fan favorites, Ruben?
The snacks, definitely.
Oh, yes. You guys know a Rex's photo booth reviews and tutorial factory tour is not a tour without rating the cabinets.
Would you like a snack?
I will. We're going to have snacks when we go back in the conference room. Okay. So I don't know if this is going to be full of lunches, but
you can't open that. This is secret R&D. I'm just kidding. You can open.
Come on. I just want to know, is it a bunch of monsters? Oh, yeah, the Starbucks. Look at that. Your refrigerator is stocked full of Starbucks. That's how you keep going. So PBSCO runs on Starbucks.
Apparently. I don't know who drinks it, but...
You don't know who drinks it?
I don't know.
All right,
Ruben,
we're
who's
going
a
to cover
Frappuccino
that.
fan?
Huh?
Who's a Frappuccino fan?
Smith.
Ruben? Oh, Smith. Got it.
All right,
he's been
that's
outed.
secret, like there. Wi-Fi password. All right, what's next? What are we allowed to see? What are we not allowed to see?
Awesome. We're gonna flip over here. This is the
Like a showroom?
the museum of every single photo booth we've ever made.
Wow.
We talked about this earlier. We're gonna go over in depth some of our newer products. We're not gonna spend too much time here. But this was our baby original one, Legacy.
I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we evolved
Legacy.
into the queso photo booth.
Did the Legacy ever come with a printer case or a stand?
It did. We don't have one on display here.
Yeah, we got to find somebody who has it. We can put it back in the
we have a
museum.
few. We have a few back there.
I love the industrial design on the queso here. It's matching. Everything just matches, including the printer and the printer cover.
I'm very proud of the industrial design on this guy.
I love it.
It's really beautiful. I love the anodized aluminum shell.
I
These
love the
were
enclosed camera too.
pain in the
so-
butt to make these things. 100%.
The enclosed camera just makes it so that, you know, customers cannot go and start playing with the camera.
100%.
I love that.
Yeah.
Actually, can we get a view of this? So this is back during the queso days. Very legendary, very iconic. They actually enclose the camera inside the shell so people don't go up and play with the camera. Whereas nowadays, back then, the Legacy, it was exposed. When stuff happens, they just start playing with the camera. So I thought this was very cool. This is a first. Kind of reminds me of the enclosed photo booths you see at the mall, like the coin ops. So that was really cool idea.
Definitely.
So this was one.
This was one too.
And then how far apart from Legacy to queso?
I want to say 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
So from here to here is a 5. Look at that. Like with speakers, enclosed camera, the bounce card built in, protector screen. I really love the design of that. The industrial
Thanks,
design
Rex.
was amazing.
Yeah, it was a huge step forward for us. Almost everything is custom in this booth. Even the display we had custom made with the white bezel. This is not off the shelf. Speaker grill is custom made. This glass custom made. LED. I mean, everything here is custom.
No,
top to
I
bottom.
just, you know, I told you I went to
Really
art
cool.
school. I really love the form. I love the function. I understand it really well, right? This is dual. Why do you have a lid? Just to protect the screen and equipment.
Yeah.
But this is also be used flash bounce.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bounce card.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
So this is pretty iconic. I love that. You know?
Legacy was our first foray into photo booths. I initially started my career as a wedding photographer, as you know.
Yeah.
Back when I was 18 years old, and then grew the photography business. Had a difficult time scaling it, so I decided, long story short, hey, let's start offering photo booths. We bought a photo booth. Didn't enjoy that experience. It was very large. Didn't take good pictures. It required a U-Haul trailer to go to every single event. I know.
A U-Haul trailer.
I know. Pain in
Do
the
we have
butt.
a picture of that?
I can show you later.
Okay.
So we decided to make our photo booths for purely selfish reasons because I was too lazy to drive a U-Haul trailer and set it all up. I'd hired 2 people to set up the photo booth that we bought. So I was thinking, how can something take better pictures, be a lot more portable, be elegant, and that's how we came up with Legacy. And believe it or not, we actually had like 4 or 5 prototypes before we even actually started selling this. Again, making these prototypes purely for selfish reasons, just because we wanted for our business. So once this took off, it was great, and we were doing effectively like putting a business in a box to sell to people, and it took off almost immediately. In our first year, we were profitable, and people were seeing the value in having Legacy. But it wasn't until queso when we decided, hey, let's provide a better customer experience by also developing the software in-house.
This is when you started building software.
Correct. So queso, we named it that because queso means cheese, and you say, take a picture, you say cheese, right?
Okay,
say cheese.
so that's how that came up.
So that's how the introduction to the Mexican food started, and we're gonna go talk about the other booths here.
Yeah.
This is our first foray into hardware and software.
This was what, 2010?
It's 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
And then 2013 to 2018, we
18.
got the queso.
Yep.
And then what happened
And then
after
from there,
that? Yeah.
came, I think probably one of the most iconic booths out there is the Salsa 1, now we're calling it, because we have the Salsa 2, which we'll talk about in a second. This was the industry's first photo booth that has this racetrack shape. Now there's a lot of other copycats out there. We were the first to kind of design this, and as you've seen earlier in the office, that eventually morphed into our logo because this was so iconic for us. The funny thing is that people always ask, how did you come up with this design?
Yeah,
of
why the
racetrack?
oblong? I gotta ask. I couldn't
So-
find anything on the internet. Why an oblong? You call it a racetrack. It's an O.
It's an
You know,
O, it's a
okay.
racetrack,
Okay.
whatever. But really the initial design of this came from, I wanted this to fit in a carry-on bag, right? Okay. So if you look at the shape of a carry-on bag, it is that shape if you look at the constraints there, right? So really I was like, okay, I can make a box, or that doesn't look that elegant, let's just curve it on the side. So that gave the inspiration for the head unit. And then if you want to follow that industrial design onto the base plate, obviously why not, you can make a rectangular base plate, or you can match the design of this. And then having the extrusion also match with the rounded edges makes sense too.
Right.
So like all the curvature of this just makes sense. And I think that's kind of how it turned to the iconic design. It's funny, I was at LAX recently and I saw like one of our guac knockoff booths at LAX. I'm scanning people in for global entry. And I was like, at that point I was like,
it's the clear kiosk.
Yeah, I was a little mad because like, okay, why did they not just buy from us, right? But then at the same time, I was like really flattered that our iconic design that we started is actually at the airports now, and it's super cool. So I really love this design, and this was our second foray into a hardware software integrated platform, and our first foray into iPads. So learning the lessons from Legacy and Queso, we decided, okay, Queso, we had our own proprietary computer in there, our own proprietary displays, which was really good because we can control everything, but at the same time, we noticed that people wanted to upgrade their photo booths all the time. And that was the cool thing about Legacy is you can continue to swap and upgrade your Surface Pros that were in it.
Yes.
So with this, we decided, okay, well, we're never going to be better than Apple in creating the most incredible Retina displays. We're not going to beat Apple in creating amazing GPU chips. Let's just integrate whatever Apple's doing and have that be the brain of the operation while we do everything else. That allowed us to also drop the price point from Queso, which was over $10,000, to something that was just $3,000.
Right.
And we haven't raised prices since launch, and we can talk about that maybe later on as well.
Sure.
But this really exploded photo booth supply code because that lower price point gave a much more appetizing lower barrier to entry, and it was more appetizing to the broader audience. So we started selling a ton of these, and our subscription revenue also took off from here as well. And
is it the same software from the Queso? Same build?
Different.
Same
So Queso is all Windows.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is all iOS now.
Wow.
So we had to recreate this all.
The whole revamp to do the Salsa software.
Exactly. Wow. So when we released this, we came out with the Salsa booth, and then it was paired with the Salsa app. Now we're calling it Fiesta, and that's kind of the 2.0 version of Salsa app.
Okay.
And the reason why is because it's kind of weird to have a Salsa app running on a guac and chips and a Salsa app running on a tortilla. So anyways, right now it's called Fiesta, which you're going to see in the back end if we go into there. But this is Salsa 1. From Salsa 1, we created guac and chips. So this is right next door. So this was a really amazing unit because they combine the power of a DSLR or mirrorless from the Legacy into here. We noticed that while people really love Salsa and it took off, some of our more professional photography clients were missing the high-end DSLR aspect, and you can't do the DSLR without good lighting. Lighting is what makes it key. So if you see a lot of other photo booths, they might have different types of light modifiers on there. The umbrella is definitely the way to go. We have a little guac and chips introduction video that I filmed when this launched in 2021. So just for your reference, Legacy was 2013, Queso was 2018, this was 2019, this is a year after Queso, this is 2021.
So you were able to go from Queso to Salsa and the Salsa app in a period of 1 year?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, barely slept, didn't have any kids, so you could kind of bang through that.
That's insane. Yeah,
for sure.
Most people can't even get the programming for the app in a year. So to do the hardware and the software and to marry them together is quite a feat. Yeah, it's very iconic. Yeah. So, and then from 2019, right?
2019, and then 2 more years later, we had introduction of guac and chips.
So this came out during COVID, 2021.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it was still running on the same software infrastructure.
Correct.
Just the hardware.
Yeah, that's when we kind of knew like right away that okay, we need to make a change to the software, rebrand it because it's weird to have a guac and chips running a Salsa app in the Salsa booth. So anyway, that's when we started to create that and understand and create the broader vision for Fiesta. Because we noticed that this software couldn't just support an iPad app. We need to have a software that supports an iPad selfie booth a DSLR booth, a 360 booth, virtual events, and more. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there are just so many types of photo booth applications that could occur other than just a selfie booth like
Right.
this.
So hence the integration into Fiesta.
Correct.
And Fiesta just tied it all into
Correct.
one. Got
Yeah.
it.
So
Very
that's a
cool.
common, just jumping to 2025 really quick, that's a common misnomer is that like, oh, Fiesta is a completely new app and it's it is really just an evolution
It's Salsa
of Salsa
2.0.
app.
Salsa 2.0.
100%,
Okay.
100%.
Well, it's codenamed Salsa 2.0, but it's actually the Fiesta.
Yeah, exactly. It's the party with all the Mexican food.
Yeah.
Again, this is our guac and chips here. Some people always ask like, why'd you name these products the way they are,
What
right?
is your obsession with
Yeah.
Mexican food?
Well,
I know you're a foodie. I also looked that up too, and you are. But why the
Yeah.
Mexican cuisine?
I'm a huge foodie. If you ask me where I spend my money on, it's food. I spend a ludicrous amount of my budget on nice dinners and even more affordable dinners as well. I just love food and the way that it brings people together. You can't really have a proper meal without having someone to share it with. I think it kind of goes to my love for like taking pictures and parties and things like that. But if you look at queso, when we first named that was like kind of our first entry into the Mexican food name. And we were coming out with the name for this. Actually, initially, I don't think even our employees know this. The internal name for this initially was Queso Go.
Queso Go.
So it's
Okay.
like a more portable version of queso. But then we thought about it and was like, okay, well, it's a completely different experience. It's an iPad-based platform. And what goes good with queso? Salsa, right? But the other thing too is that salsa is a form of dance. And this was capturing really great boomerangs and videos at the time, so you can capture that movement. And the other thing too is salsa is a sauce, right? It's something you put on a dish to make it more lively, more fun, and more tasty, right? Just thinking you bring a photo booth to an event to make it more lively as well. So there's like a lot of meanings behind the salsa terminology.
No, I
here.
love it. So it's the sauce, it's the dance, it's the culture, it's the vibe.
Exactly.
And this really was, this was the viral hit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think this is what started it off for you guys.
It was definitely a game changer in the industry. It shook things up a lot.
Awesome.
And then naming guac and chips, if anyone's been to any Mexican restaurant, right, usually the salsa and the chips is table stakes, you get it for free, right? But the premium is always guac, right?
The guac.
So that's why we call it guac. And then the chips is actually the printer stand. And you can
that's the name of the printer
Yeah.
stand. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can eat chips with guac, or you can eat chips with
Salsa.
right?
Yes, because you can print with the iPad booths.
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
cool.
We don't sell chips on its own.
Don't.
To be honest, it's not profitable for us whatsoever.
Yeah, it's not profitable for restaurants
we
either.
would lose money.
So, yeah.
I didn't think about that, but I guess that is also true.
Right, Ruben? Okay, yeah.
That was funny. Well,
Two
the office is
Asian guys
laughing.
talking about guac and chips, right? All right. So,
Yeah, but the thing about chips I want to mention is it's so much more than just a printer stand. It also has the ability to print wirelessly and print
built in?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I can show you a little bit of that.
What are you allowed to show us? What are you not? Let's see.
So
Okay.
let's see if you can see it in here. I don't know if this it's somewhere right here. So you can see we've actually made a module in here. We call it the chips brain.
Wow.
This allows you to again wirelessly print directly from the Fiesta software. So you don't have to buy something like an Aircast Pro
Got it. No, I
or
got it.
WCM. This is literally built into
Yeah,
the unit.
it's a print server for the Fiesta, and I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Most
and-
people are always looking for that all-in-one or the built-in solution.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't want to go outside the environment. It's not the same. It's not the same if I bring my own Tabasco. It's got to be included. So that's
Absolutely.
very cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. You have a print server built in. And it's part of when you get the chips and when you buy salsa or the guac, it's every chips that ships out includes the print server, or
100%.
is that an option?
That includes it.
No, it's
Yeah.
standard. Wow.
Yeah. So
Very cool.
let's just say a lot of people don't factor this in, right? They'll look at guac and chips, which actually is pretty reasonably priced, but they'll say like, oh, okay, well, if I do a DIY option, then it'll be cheaper, right? But then you got to figure out, you got to buy a Eurocast Pro 3, which is $400.
Yeah.
Or WCM, I think that's 200, $300 too. So like that's a huge chunk of change on top of all the other things that we're providing. We provide all the like literally complete turnkey package with all of our booths.
Correct.
The only thing you don't provide is the iPad.
Yeah. You thought about all the way through, basically. So there's nothing. You don't need to buy anything else.
My goal is to try to make entrepreneurship easy, right? Or as easy as possible, right? We're not going to help you get the leads.
Right.
Like
Can't run your business for you.
I can't completely run the business, right? But we try to do everything we can. We can talk about our customer success and the customer experience in a bit.
Oh my God, dude. I love the history, everything from the legacy all the way to the guac and chips. What else?
We're not done. We're not done yet.
What else?
We're not
What
even
else
done
you
yet.
have?
We're 4 out of 6 booths.
What happens when you run out of Mexican food? Are we going to get like the birria? I mean, dude.
There's a lot of Mexican food out there, buddy.
Enchilada.
Oh,
yeah?
there's a lot of stuff out
Is there an enchilada?
Who knows? Hey, no peeking, no peeking.
Okay, all right.
I'm just kidding.
All right. What else do we got?
All right, so
Oh, it's right in front of me.
yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
look over here.
What do we have here? I love this
This is
thing.
actually an early version prototype of tortilla, and you can imagine.
The first one? First
I don't
ever
know if it's the
working?
first ever one, but
pretty
it's
close to finished product or no?
This is one we use a lot for testing, so you can see this random stuff on it. But this was our first foray into 360 booths.
Love it.
So this came out in 2014 in January, and our goal here was to
When?
make
2014?
2014. Sorry, 2024.
I was going to
Excuse
say,
me.
you're so early. You were before Orcaview. I'm like, whoa, I'm mind blown. Where have you had that?
2024. Last
2024,
year. Yeah, so
okay.
January
Yeah.
2024. Thanks for catching that. And our goal here was to make the most portable 360 booth out there. The main pain point that we've got when we do customer interviews with 360 owners was that it is huge. It takes 2 or 3 people to set up, et cetera, et cetera. So actually, Ruben, can you grab me the tortilla case, if you don't mind? I can show that off here.
Because you know, I gig in a Toyota Prius, and I'm thinking this would fit in there.
Yeah, 100%. So this is really cool. And I'll show you the assembly.
Okay,
I don't know if you have time, but
No.
here.
How long assembly?
That's this assembly.
Uh-huh.
That's assembly.
And does that
That's it.
Hold on. Does
That's
that
it.
fold down? Does it articulate? I mean,
Yeah, so we're gonna walk over here to the case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you,
wow.
Ruben.
Wow.
So maybe Rex can link to some videos out there with tortilla in it. But ideally, you would take this arm off, and then
Can we hurry up and do it? Does the prototype actually fit in the case?
That one doesn't because it's got extra parts on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, you
Okay.
know, let me show you as much as we can. So I'm gonna have you hold this.
Yes.
Great.
Oh, yeah. It's sturdy. I love
Yeah.
this
So this
thing.
is the included controller. This is all custom,
remote.
branded,
Yes.
all that fun stuff. So increase speed, decrease speed, increase and decrease amount of rotations, pause and stop, all this fun stuff. But really, this is how easy it is. You lift it up like that.
By yourself.
Yeah.
So
And then
even
you
if-
can even hold the handles here. The entire thing is a handle, and it's
What's
not-
the weight on that?
Don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Ruben, do you know?
It's about 60 pounds.
60 pounds.
with the motor.
60 pounds.
And is there a battery built in, or is it AC?
It is all AC, but
It's
the
all
cool
AC.
thing is you can put a battery underneath here.
Got
so
it.
we
So
wanted
you
to
have
give
the
people the
option.
flexibility. Yeah, exactly. So sorry, you weren't seeing that, but you can actually put a battery underneath here. You can put LEDs in here to light it up. So you kind of give people the freedom to do it. Everyone does 360 their own way, and we just want to give people flexibility. So all you need to do is roll in here. I don't know if this is even the right way. It's been a while. You just roll it in to the case.
Nice. One person. Oh, I
That's
love
it.
it.
And then,
And then
usually goes in a little smoother. I think one of the feet might not be. And you just put this arm in the bottom there.
right
There's a little
in the
slot.
final version that you have in production, it actually what does it call it when it goes back in? Retracts. It retracts,
yeah.
and then it fits into the case.
Correct. So this retracts here. Obviously, we have a little battery holder in here
Yeah,
that we never released.
got it. That's why it's not gonna fit in the bag. And then
Yeah, and you zip it up, and you're good to go.
hold on. So this could be a one-person job, whereas with a lot of some of the other booths, it's definitely two-person job.
Yeah, I've done, I think,
Wow.
6 or more 360 booth events just by myself.
Wow,
Piece of cake.
I love. Oh,
Wheels
it
on
has
the way.
wheels.
Yeah, it's wheels.
Nice. Yeah. Oh man, I'm digging this.
Yeah.
I am. I
And the
love that.
case is completely custom as well. That was kind of a groundbreaking thing that we did We try to solve the biggest pain point of portability and transportation.
Because everybody else has the hard cases. Oh my God, those the row cases are just add more weight. I mean, great protection. Don't get me wrong.
100%.
But
100%.
dude, have you tried to lift that thing into a car?
It's bad.
Wow.
And the cool thing here, you got another secret pocket here, and that allows you to store whatever you want in there.
Your phones, your phone, camera, cables. Look at that. That's a lot of room. So you basically you use all the space that you had. Oh,
Correct.
It's velvet inside.
It's nice.
Hey,
Yeah.
fancy,
Definitely.
fancy.
Definitely.
I love it.
You can see a DSLR on top of this too. Fiesta is not compatible with DSLRs yet, but it's a highly requested feature that we may prioritize soon. But you can
When?
yeah.
You leaked it. You leaked it. I did it.
Here, my philosophy, and then some of the pros out there might argue against me here, but I think the iPads do a really good job of capturing.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, it depends on lighting. Lighting is key, right? You can put this DSLR in front of a 360, but the lighting is poor. You're going to get poor results. So, my opinion, I'd focus and spend more money on the lighting than I would on the actual camera.
On the recording device itself.
100%.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's tortilla there.
Yeah,
that was
love the
2024.
2024. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And the case comes with the tortilla. You have
100%.
To buy.
Everything comes
included.
Yeah,
I forget. You're the all-in-one guy.
Yeah.
All right.
The only thing I said we provide everything. The only thing you may need to buy is a faceplate that matches your iPad. But I think that was only relevant for Salsa 1. The Salsa 2s that we have now, which nice segue here. This is our latest and greatest Salsa 2, and we're going to go over this more in depth later on.
2024?
2024, November.
Wow. So from here, but honestly, from here to here, it looks very similar. What did you really do?
Do you think? You think?
I don't know.
I think it changed a bit.
I don't know.
I think it changed a bit.
It's still the racetrack design. You still have the rainbow LEDs, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You have the oblong base, right? And you carried it in the form and the function. You have the oblong, what do you call this? The stand.
Yeah.
Right. So
we're gonna go over this a little bit more in depth. So we'll save those questions for later. But right now, I'm just gonna go a quick overview. What I love about Salsa 2 is it's 3 photo booths in one. So you have your traditional standalone unit here, but there's a secret latch down here. Again, we can do more close-ups later. You can actually pull this out, and now it becomes a roamer. And then on top of that, you also can...
it's got the handle built in.
You can remove that handle, and now you can attach this onto any sort of vase mount. So we have our photo booth owners putting this in an enclosed photo booth. We have the people putting it for permanent installations.
Permanent installs is
exactly.
What that'd be good for.
So you can actually turn anything into a photo booth with Salsa 2. And of course you have the roaming capability as well.
And this is carried over. You have the fans from Salsa 1 as well.
Yeah, so the cool thing about this faceplate is like all the electronics are right here. So even if you put this in the blazing hot sun, it'll still keep it cool.
It'll still keep running.
Keep it cool. Yeah, and you can see on the front here that there is some air pockets. So this fan literally draws in air from down here, cools the iPad, cools the LEDs. You can also put accessories in here too. So you could put a battery pack in here and have it charged directly via USB-C, which is what's going on here. We actually asked the poll what people put in their photo booths, and the number one answer was their sandwich. Believe it or not. So if you could put your sandwich in here, add a battery pack, and you'll be good to go. But Rex and I were going to be doing a deep dive into this later because Rex wanted to know all the ins and outs about it. So we're going to go over every nook and cranny there. So 3 photo booths in one, standalone, roaming, and a vase mount option.
Really cool. All right, let's go. Where's the rest of the factory tour?
All right, well, I'm going to need Ruben to help me with that one. So we're going to keep it going, keep it flowing here.
Was this the lunch table? What's going on here?
This is a lunch table. But it's taken over by our booth, which we're going to dive into the latter part of the video here.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that in a second.
Anytime we call it like, when you first walk into a house, you see the washer and dryer, all of a sudden when there's empty space, it's just people just start putting stuff on it.
Yeah,
so it's dangerous. Dangerous.
And we're going to go over the cases and all the photo booths inside later on. But yeah.
So what all else do you do here?
I'm going to hand the mic over to Ruben.
Hey Rex, let me show you our repair center right over here.
Yeah. I'd love to see the second half of the tour.
Awesome.
Tell me what you got going on here. Oh my God. Is there anything I'm not supposed to see?
You're fine.
Oh my goodness.
So this is our repair technician, Sebastian.
What's
Sebastian
up,
Brooks.
Sebastian? How are you? Sorry to bother you. What are you working on?
So this guac head came in because I don't know if it's going to be able to be caught on camera, but the little rivet that goes here came off from that. So basically it's just a quick, fix just to drill that out, put a new rivet in there, and just secure it. Probably bent the, what is it? The little
The bracket, yeah.
the bracket just back in place so it's, all straight, what have you. And,
So you guys do all the repairs here, Ruben?
Yeah, so we would do all the repairs for the guac, salsa, chips, everything. Ramirez here, he is our encyclopedia. He knows all the booths inside and out. So if anyone ever has questions about any of our booths, past, present, or future, Ramirez is our guy.
That's awesome. So he keeps track of all the parts, part numbers, everything.
Yeah, he pretty much knows
all
everything.
the iterations of that.
Yeah.
So,
Very cool. This is your desk, I imagine.
Yes, this is one of them. I do need a fair bit of space for things I do. A lot of it involves research and getting it into each of the booths. If something new pops up that is damaged or a customer finds in the field that goes wrong, I have to figure out how it went wrong, why it went wrong, and then our solution to keep it from going wrong in the future. Part of that also goes on the R&D section, but that'll be for Jeff to talk about. For my end, I just figure out what happened, and then he figures out how to correct it from production standpoint.
Very cool. All right, what do you got next for us?
Yeah, so if we come over here onto this side, sorry, tight spots. So all these racks contain all of our repair parts for our different booths. So I have parts for salsa 1 here, guac, chips, salsa 2 rack here, tortillas. So pretty much all of the parts that we need to do all of our repairs we have here at headquarters.
Do you guys do the assembly here too?
We do not do any assemblies here. We just do mainly repairs. They are repair kits that we do here. So let's say your Salsa 1 LED kits happen to die and you need a kit to repair it. We actually have DIY kits that you can actually do.
Got it. So you do send out parts?
Yeah, so we do send out.
So if I break my handle, I need a handle, you can send me a handle.
Exactly.
Very cool.
With Salsa 2, a lot of that has become a lot of DIY because it's a lot economically feasible to send out parts instead of having the booth come here, us do the
Right,
repair.
because
and
there's
then send it out.
shipping and then you got to ship it back and there's time. So that's cool that you guys have the repair kits.
Yeah, and then the nice thing about the RMA program, for all of our domestic partners, customers, we cover all the domestic shipping to and
Both
from.
ways?
Both ways.
Oh, wow.
So with the RMA
Very cool.
process, 1 year in warranty. If you're out of warranty, it costs a little money, but we take care of our booth. We also have our loaner program. So our loaner program happens if there is an emergency situation where your booth breaks down, you have an event coming up in a couple of days, and it just won't make it in time here for us to repair. We do have the ability to send you out a loaner. A lot of our time, our repairs take less than 24 hours. If your unit shows up here on Monday, most of the time we'll get it out by Tuesday.
Do you have to pay for the warranty plan or does it include with purchase?
So all of our booths come with a 1 year standard warranty.
And that's included with the loaner program?
Yep.
Wow.
And again, our loader program is just those worst case scenarios, I have an event this weekend, my booth broke, please help me out. We'll help you out.
Yeah. What is the time for a standard repair? You usually get them out in 48 hours or
24 to 48 hours. So the slow part is the shipping part, but after that, once it's here, we get it repaired and it's out pretty much the next day.
Very cool. All right. And then this is it. Those are all your loaners ready to go?
Yep, those are our loaners ready to go. Again, we haven't had to use them in a while, so that's awesome because we've been getting repairs out super fast. And then right above it, different parts and different kits to send out to customers. They're all just ready to go.
And then you get shipments every day, FedEx, UPS.
Yeah, we got FedEx coming every day.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's very cool. Thank you so much, Ruben.
You're
Appreciate it. And is there anything else you can show us?
Well, let's talk about our R&D department. We're going to take you over to our production manager, Mr. Jeff Smith.
So all your R&D is done here in the U.S.?
A lot of R&D is done here. Smith is one of the head guys that will take care of research and development. Of course, we have a lot of remote employees that also do a lot of R&D also.
Very cool. Let's go see.
Let's go.
Yeah. I love toys. You better cover everything you don't want me to see. So what's up, Jeff? You are the R&D guy. So tell me a little bit about what you do here. Can we go in your office?
You can, but this is also where the mad science happens of the company. So you'll see wiring, you'll see little bits and pieces, you'll see parts of systems we make, and Part of that is basically every time we have a customer who has an issue with the system, it goes into RMA. If it's an issue we've never heard of before, I'm the person who goes, oh God, what's happening? And that turns into triage. So what that means is I'll go over, talk to Ramirez, talk to Sebastian, and we'll try to figure out what happened. They'll fix it. They'll figure out how to fix it. I'll figure out how to keep that from happening again in the future. So a lot of times that means just tracking things really diligently and just losing my hair over it and then trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. And a lot of times that takes talking to CMs and things like that. The other part of that is working through prototypes. So you see my desk, the chaos that it is, but behind that you'll see our R&D section. So everything on that rack is either a production level prototype or is just a very early prototype. Anything that is production level, that usually gets refolded, gets refurbished, things like that, or it gets recycled.
Yeah.
Do try to recycle.
You know exactly where everything is. It's organized chaos.
Yeah.
And what part of the design can you say that you've actually worked on or that you really enjoyed? The lighting or, getting it to talk with the software? Because, software
I am awful with software. I can read software a bit. And like you show me code, I'll be able to figure out what it does. But if you tell me to write software, I'm going to find some guy on Fiverr that does it for me.
Excellent. So
my favorite thing is really just integration. So when Brandon comes up with an idea if he wants for a system, and we want to talk to our mechanical engineering guys, we want to talk to our electrical engineering guys, I kind of will be there to gauge what is really feasible, what's not feasible, and kind of gauge what's needed to accomplish what that is. So with Salsa 2, we wanted to do a roamer mode. We wanted to do all these things. We wanted to do with our USB-C. So a lot of that was basically, okay, we know USB-C can do this right now. We know the limitations of USB-C, and we kind of had to set guidelines for what we can do for design from that. As for what designs I've been involved with here, I've been here since queso days.
Wow. So 2018.
Yeah, actually a little bit before that, because back in that day, I was customer support. And when the first customer support calls was fielded by an office full of us, and we were all excited about queso, and then the first call comes, like, wait, what do we do now? Sort of thing. So I got to do the triage for that, and then from the triage for queso, I transitioned to working on some of the back end side, doing R&D and things like that.
So do you ever have to say no? No, Brandon.
I try to say no, and then it comes back and he's like, well, I really want to do this. And then it turns into, okay, we can do this, but then you have to pay for it, sort of thing. So
make it happen.
Pretty much.
Just make it happen, Jeff.
Yeah, that's basically how Guac turned into what it is today.
Monster.
The original scope for Guac was very grandiose. We had all these plans to integrate into it, and then we realized if we do all these integrations, nobody's going to be able to pick this thing up.
It's going to be $20,000.
$20,000.
200 pounds.
200 pounds.
So you had to say no. You had to put your foot down eventually.
I've learned that with Brandon, the best thing to do is show him, like, okay, this is how we can make it happen, and then he'll see the feasibility of it, and he's like, well, that's not great. I'm like,
okay,
let's keep that thought process going.
You're the bearer of good news. That's good to know. All right. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
So I'll walk you through a bit of like how our R&D process works.
Yeah. How does that work?
Basically, we have that first concept from Brandon. He shows us what he wants to do. We figure out how to make that happen. And then as things go along, we get the mechanical engineering going, we get the electrical engineering going, and we get the feasibility of how they can interact. And that's the stuff I love. So I'll show you a bit of like what that kind of evolves like.
Yeah, so, show us what you're working on.
No, you don't get that today. So this is going to be a lot of our Salsa 2 stuff. We have very old prototypes. We have some very recent prototypes. We even have post-production prototypes. Because after production, you'll still have revisions. So Salsa 2 right now, we are basically on the first iteration. Some things we wanted to improve a little bit after burst feedback. So every Salsa 2 now has some basic improvements, which won't show on screen, but these are old control boards from the last rounds of prototyping. And these don't have a couple improvements that we made right at launch. So every Salsa 2 has a couple of little improvements to make it a little more thermally efficient. But these stay here just because we have to recycle them.
What's the optimal temperature for the iPad and the photo booth to be operating at?
So realistically, iPads don't like being over 130 degrees Fahrenheit. But in our systems, they always stay under that unless they're in extreme.
What's that in Celsius? What's that in English?
It's about 65 C.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, I think a little bit lower than that, but that's the guidelines. And if you ever have an iPad that exceeds that, it basically goes in thermal regulation. It'll stop charging, and then the screen dims out, and then it just shuts off. So those are bad days. We try to avoid that.
Yeah, and we don't see that too often, but wow, you must be operating in the desert if you're doing that.
Yeah, we've had customers who go out to the Mojave and they have an event, it's Burning Man, it's 112 degrees, and then they're like, oh, my iPad's acting weird. Like, what did you do to your system?
Where
sort
are
of thing.
Okay.
But one of the things that we go through is, one thing I can show you really quickly, We have multiple different materials we've tried for diffusers on Salsa 2. We wanted to do a different design than what we did before. So on Salsa 1 and Guac, it was a cast part or it was a sheet part that was cast out. But on Salsa 2, we have this kind of all enclosed design, and this is the final material, but we modified this one to have different thicknesses. So if you go around the sides, these are all varying by 0.5 millimeters. And we only need to see like the diffusion difference and the light output difference. And then we also had different materials that we tested that with. So on this one, you can see.
Oh, that's a prototype.
Yeah,
So,
these are
okay.
both prototypes.
Wow.
So this
Very
was like a
cool.
production level candidate, and this was a pre-production candidate. So this is much less diffuse. So you can see it's actually much more transparent. Like my fingers are actually somewhat visible.
Yes.
This
And
didn't work out
versus
so well.
that one, what happens if you put your fingers behind that one? That's
So,
closer.
You can see like
Oh, you
can't-
change the milkiness of
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So
Very
this
cool.
makes it more diffuse, but it does limit the light output a little bit. So we had to find that balance, which means we went through about 15 different revisions of material.
Wow.
And our production company we were working with really loved me for that one. To
So-
go back even further though, like
Yeah. So what can you share about the Salsa 3?
I've heard of salsa and I've heard of the number 3. I don't really know them together.
Okay.
But like you just picked
I
up.
tried.
Salsa 2 was just 6 months ago.
Yeah, but you're working
a
on
little
3.
longer.
They're working on iPhone 18 already, right? They just don't tell you. You just, like I said, you guys like a secret, like a little cult. You do things under the table, and all of a sudden, here it is. Oh, I got
We
one
don't
of
use the
those.
C word here anymore.
Yeah.
After since the case. But anyways, a lot of times, like very early on, things will start off as just an idea and how we want the mechanics to work. So that means we 3D print things. So we have
Oh, you have 3D printer in your house.
we 3D print a lot of stuff in house.
Yes.
So
very cool.
what you can see behind our videographer or cameraman right there, this is our Form Labs 3, and very early on this got used, but since we don't do a lot of large prototypes anymore, we haven't used this in some time. So he sits covered up to keep free from dust. It was a
It's for sale, I bet. Maybe.
I'll send you a number. And
What
just to give you
else?
an idea, like this is an electronics test board, so if we ever want to test a cable to verify it, we can basically swap it in and out of this really
So
quickly.
this is how it all happens.
Kinda.
This is like.
This is like a
wow.
guac nervous system
Wow.
put on a board.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Like a deconstructed guacamole.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like a electrical engineering course. Everything is laid out, and then this is the function, and then later you add it to
Yeah.
the form. So that's exactly how you do it. You know, even everything down to the adapter that you use.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then to the side, I have our filter mount and we have our fan mount, just in case I have to test options for those as well.
And then you even made a wooden mole for the AC adapter. I love
Anything that lets me have an excuse to work with tools. So. And now to give you an idea of how far Salsa 2 came before we launched, this is one of our earlier prototypes for Salsa 2.
that. Oh my God, this thing is ugly.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
Is this what's under the finished product? Like the finished product is all white. So is it actually metal, all metal on the inside?
Yeah, it's powder coated. Wow. So just the same with your car, right? The raw aluminum door, frame, etc. They all get powder coated. Just same with this.
I want this. This is.
You want this exact one?
I want.
I thought you
this
called
one.
it ugly.
Yeah, but it's. Can you imagine like the prototype for the first iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, so
There you go.
would you want that?
You just made the number higher then.
Yeah. I know it's not going to end up in my house, but still, I mean, wow, this is what it was to what it is now. It's just leaps and bounds.
Just
Like,
for giggles, you want to just quickly touch base on some of the differences?
Does it
Like
even
say,
come on?
Like the last here.
We removed electronics from it.
oh, you moved the electronics from it, and this has the LED inside or no?
This, I don't believe we actually have LEDs in this. We have the fans still in this. The LEDs get, once we basically use this to test things, we will pull it apart to basically find the stuff that we did like, and then we take the stuff we didn't like and get rid of it. But
Oh, this has the release mechanism too.
so you can see our slides a little bit different. We actually have much different ventilation in production than we had on this thing. Obviously, we changed the colors. We didn't really like the tan. It was kind of disgusting.
So for ventil, you just drilled more holes. We're like, we need 180, not 112.
Actually, there is a calculation for it. So you have to
there really?
calculate how much airflow you need and how much restriction you want to have, because you want to pressurize the entire head. If you don't pressurize it, you don't get equal cooling. If you get equal cooling, things live. If you don't get equal cooling, the bottom dies, the top dies, something on the side dies. I die inside. So things like that.
That
Also,
is
our
so-
in-house comedian. We don't pay him for that though.
That is so cool.
And as you can see, almost everything in this is also 3D printed. The LED ring diffuser is not, but the outer shell, the inner shell, the actual roamer back, and even this part of the diffuser was 3D printed. And you can see we would use different processes for each one. Since these were all very large, they're either done on somebody's custom printer or we had to outsource it just because a lot of this got really big. Even the knobs on this were 3D printed.
Wow. And what is the final material? Because this is part of form and function, is the weight. You want it to be sturdy, you want it to be strong, so you tend to lean more towards the metal, but then for lightweight, then you want to go with the plastic. So how did you guys marry that too?
Well, there's a bit of a compromise you have to make. So if you want really, really high strength, you can go to composites, you can go to certain
Carbon
lightweight
fiber.
materials, but then your cost goes
Yeah.
pretty much. So metals, they're always great for everything. So you can go with aluminum if you want high strength and you want low weight, but you have to make sure your diameters and your thicknesses are all great in spec. You also find out your right spec for aluminum. So 6061, 5053, what are you using the aluminum for? How is it being made?
Is it
Things like
304? Is it aircraft grade aluminum?
So 304 would be stainless steel, which is
Stainless
actually
steel?
what this is. That was a type of stainless steel, but as you can see, this wasn't a high grade of stainless steel. It's got a little bit of rust on it, a little bit of corrosion, but then again, this is like 2 years
But
old
once
at
you
this point.
powder coat it,
Yeah.
then you can avoid that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. This is right here. And then this is, you are able to test all the wiring that goes internally. Everything is hidden, no
Yep.
loose wires that comes out the bottom. Yeah, that's really cool. This is gonna be a museum piece for sure. For sure.
Well, don't say that because eventually I want to start getting rid of some of our stuff.
It's going to the museum.
Yeah, no, I'll pull up my truck up to the door. Take that with me. What else do you have for us?
That's just about it. If you want to see some of the R&D tooling I've built, then we can do that. But as for that, because we do have a couple things here.
So you guys do tooling, so you can't buy tools from Home Depot. You got to have your own, huh? Let's go see.
Kind
it.
of. So
let's go see.
The biggest one we have in house right now is the environmental test chamber, a.k.a. we call it the pig. And this is a gigantic chamber that we can heat up.
Oh, I thought that was the AC unit.
If this
I
is
didn't
a-
know.
We've had this down to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. We've had it up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. We've been able to maintain 100% humidity for 2 days. We also will do dust testing in here. So even though we don't have a formal IP rating on anything, we do IP test everything that goes out. So we do ingress testing with talcum powder and tumble testing. We do direct and water exposure. We do humidity testing. We do high heat tolerance testing. When we did high heat testing, this chamber was 150 degrees. Everything in the Salsa 2 worked fine except the iPad because you can't cool below ambient. But everything else was staying below their operating range. So that was a great moment because Salsa 2 doesn't kill itself, which is always nice.
That's awesome. You guys really thought of everything. Heat, the cold, dust. You know, you got to keep dust out of there. So, yeah, that's a lot in R&D for sure.
And then we have one old R&D tool here that's just a memento. This is from Salsa 1. Salsa 1 had a molded rear shell, but it had a metal chassis inside of it. So we had to test all the different methods of fastening the two together. And what this literally involved was somebody pulling all their weight on it to try to pull that chassis out once we had that adhesive set. And
Will somebody really do that?
we have video of Brandon somewhere doing pull-ups. And I was able to put something like 700 pounds of force on one of the shells before it came apart. So I was like, okay, I think we got it at this point.
I think so. Very, very cool. Well, thank you for giving us the R&D tour. That is very cool. And let's move on, see what else we can get. Oh my God, Brandon, that is just so insane to see all that R&D, you know, versus a lot of the other photo booth resellers. They're just importing a box from out of the country and then plugging it in. I'm not sure if they do heat testing. So that was, that was mind-blowing, to be honest with you. But I wanted to sit down because I want to know how you got started in the photo booth industry.
Yeah, it's a great question. And just before we go into that, Jeff, who's absolutely incredible, we had the pleasure to talk to over 10 minutes here, detailing every part of the R&D process. He's a production engineer, but we also have industrial designers. We also have mechanical engineers working on this as well, from all sorts of parts of the country.
I would love to get in
Electrical
because you know I
engineers.
love industrial design.
Absolutely.
I would love to know how they did the molds.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
know.
So it takes a village to make this stuff. It's not just a one-man show here with Jeff, although he has been a part of every single booth here except for Legacy. So he's a fundamental part of the team here. Going back to how I got started in the photo booth industry, kind of talked about it earlier in the tour, but effectively I was a wedding photographer trying to grow that business. Found it really difficult to do that. So our customers kept on asking us for photo booth rentals. So we decided to purchase a photo booth.
It's hard to replicate yourself.
Yeah, it was the big U-Haul one. We talked about this, right? It said we can make our own.
The transportation.
So, exactly. So like we talked about it a little earlier, but we want to make our own photo booth. One thing led to another. We wanted to showcase it off at WPPI, which was like the largest conference for wedding photographers.
Wedding photographers.
We launched at that show, and it's been a big success ever since then. That was in March 2013.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And Photo Booth Supply Co. has done a lot of firsts. I mean, very, very progressive company. So I'm going to hit you with this. And I did my research. There are a lot of great photo booth companies out there. We're not here to disparage anybody, but I think, and, you know, some people claim that they were the ones that did the bounce card, or they were the first to do DSLR, or whatever, right? But this, I don't think anybody's come close. And do you think you know what it is?
No clue.
All right. So I believe, and this is in my research, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you are the first and only photo booth company to ever build a photo booth company or launch a product off of Kickstarter.
I had no idea where you're going with this, but yeah, we did Kickstarter on Salsa
come
1.
on, dude.
We did Kickstarter with Salsa 1. Yeah.
Where did you get the idea to sell a photo booth on Kickstarter? First of all, tell people what Kickstarter is, and where did you get the idea to sell it? eBay, Kickstarter, bro.
I believe the word is like crowdsourcing or crowdfunding. It's been a while since I've been on that platform. But effectively, back in the day, we talked about this. We released Queso in 2018 and released Salsa in 2019.
Yes.
So if you look at it from an R&D perspective, it takes hundreds of thousands of dollars to create these products, right? And we made a big bet with Queso. We made a big bet with Salsa. So to be frank with you, the honest answer was we were very cash low. Like we were very cash poor at the time. We invested so much money into this, and we probably didn't have a lot of money for actually ordering the production of it. So we said, hey, we got to pre-sell this ahead of time to at least even just literally get the money for it. So even though at the time it was 2019, we've been around for 6 years and we've been profitable for the most part every year since then. We've invested so much money into building these two products that we kind of needed to act like a startup again and raise that money.
Genius,
so that was cool, and it was I forgot the number because it was so long time ago.
What was the number that you said, oh, if this project hits 100,000, then we're going to build this? And you had all these strangers pay for your R&D. That is genius, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you remember what it was?
I honestly don't remember. But people still use Kickstarter as a platform. Peak Design just launched their amazing roller bag on Kickstarter.
You were the first to do it with Photo Booth. That's it. I just wanted to give you the credit for that.
Thanks, Rex.
You didn't know, and I remember seeing, oh my God, buy one and get the second one for half price or half off or something like that. I remember I was like, oh my God, where is this thing going? Who is going to buy a photo booth off Kickstarter? Well, who knew, right?
Yeah.
Who was wrong? No idea. So that was just unheard of, and I will forever give as a photo booth historian, I will always give you credit for that one.
Thank you.
That went totally viral. So many people joined, and actually they had to pay, right? Whether you finished the product or not, they still paid. And
100%.
I mean, that was pure genius to have hundreds of thousands, to have in R&D, and to know that right after you built it, that you were going to ship this thing and people were going to have it. So that's pure genius, to be honest.
Thanks, Rex.
I love that. I don't know if anybody will ever do that again. So that was my research. I wanted to hit you with that because I don't think you thought about that. And then the second one we touched on a little bit is a lot of great photo booth companies out there again, but I think you're probably the only company to do a loaner program. Where'd you guys come up with that idea? And is it because you drive a BMW? I mean,
I don't drive a BMW. Never had a BMW.
Okay.
In the end, it's about customer experience, right? If your booth is not working for whatever reason, it fell into the ocean or fell down the ground, something happens. Like, we want to make sure that you're ready and active for that event. Again, coming back from someone who's been a wedding photographer for over 10 years and has done dozens of photo booth events myself, I know the pressure of not being able to deliver at an event
Yes.
and letting down your client, right? Your
Yes.
reputation is everything. So we want to just get you the booth as quickly as possible, right? Whether it be like a refurbished one or something like that, like just get something to you. We'll get all the details sorted out later, but like we just want to take care of you. So yeah, it's not, maybe it drew inspiration from a car company, right? For sure. But in the end, it's like, well, what drives the best customer experience and really not just to our customer, but for our customer's customer, right? We want the person renting that photo booth to still have their memories captured and preserved in a fun way.
And that's awesome. And the last one I already know the answer to, and I thought it was really great, but we'll reiterate it, was we know you love food, and that's how the queso came about. And you said, again, explain to me how queso is cheese, but that came because when people are taking pictures, you always hear them say cheese.
Yep.
And then you just translate it from English to Spanish, hence the entire line of the Mexican food.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
are we going to continue on with that? With salsa 3 or Tabasco 1?
Tabasco, I think Tabasco's trademarked, unfortunately.
Habanero 12? I mean,
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any future projects or any future Mexican food items that you may be coming out with in the future? I think that's what people want to know.
Our chefs are always cooking.
Yeah,
Our
I can
chefs
give
are
you
always
anything.
cooking. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much for the tour. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I'm mind blown with everything that goes on here. I love the customer service aspect. Your customers obviously mean a lot to you by the way you take care of them, right? So that they never lose an event and they never have to worry. It's I think Jeff said it was a 1-year warranty. Very, very compelling, and you literally do take care of everybody here in the United States. Everything always ships from California, so all your repairs and loaners go out of California. Do you have a satellite office?
You're looking at it right here. Yeah.
That's-
We do have a third-party logistics company. It's Geek for just a place that we ship out our food units. That's in another facility. You probably also didn't see here that there's no manufacturing happening. So we have manufacturing partners all over the world that are manufacturing those locations. They ship it over to our distribution center, and then it ships out from there. But in this facility, which you just did a tour of, RMAs, repairs, R&D, logistics, things like that occur
Very
here.
cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to end off with what else would you like to share with your PBSCO family? So a lot of your clients, and if people are interested in joining the PBSCO family, where can they find you?
Yeah, message to everybody is, we are here to support you guys, and without you guys going to these events and working hard and growing your businesses, we wouldn't be here today. So we love your guys' feedback at all times, whether it be improving our hardware, improving our software. We are here to serve you, and in hopes that you guys can then serve your community by capturing these beautiful memories. Our mission statement, I think I said earlier, was creating meaningful business opportunities to capture memories. And I really mean it. Like, I think that there's an entrepreneur inside everybody. And one thing that gets me up in the morning is unlocking that potential in people to become their best selves, to get to their goals. And I think entrepreneurship is one really amazing way to do that, to become your own boss, right? Fulfill your own destiny. And in turn, in the business opportunity we provide, is able to capture these really awesome memories for your local community.
Absolutely.
So this is
And
something
you're helping
near and
them
dear.
do that. You're helping them
Absolutely,
do that.
absolutely. If you want to get part of our community, we'd love to help you out, and we provide so much customer support and also customer success, which also sets us apart too.
You guys do a lot of education, but not here in this office.
Not anytime soon. Maybe we can do an event together.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we have a customer experience team. These are the people that effectively help you troubleshoot the booth, help you understand how to use it, and we have 7-day support there. All over the world.
You have live phone support or chat?
Live phone support.
Wow.
We have chat. We also recently rolled out AI as well. So if we can't get to the phone immediately, and we have amazingly fast response times, but our AI will respond immediately based off of your prompt and try to give you a response. That was fun that we rolled out. But on top of having a customer experience team, we also have a customer success team. So the former helps you understand how to use the product. The latter, the customer success team, helps you use the product to make money.
To run the business.
To actually
and
make
that
the
is
business.
What the industry lacks.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So
wow.
if anything, this customer success team, like, we're measuring them on, like, hey, how much revenue is Rex bringing in?
down.
Right, and you want to get a tortilla, right? So like,
Yeah.
is Rex selling the shit out of tortilla right now?
How can I double my revenue?
Exactly.
And you have a whole team dedicated
Exactly.
to that.
We do live webinars. We have 100 videos pre-recorded on our Photo Booth Academy. We have free stuff like our YouTube channel, our Instagram page. We have a free podcast.
It is all included with purchase. They don't have to pay for that education. They don't have to pay for the videos.
A lot of this is for free. Yeah, so if you're not even a Photo Booth Supply Co. customer and you want to just dabble into photo booth business, check out our YouTube channel, check out our Instagram.
Put it out. So what is the YouTube channel?
I think it's /Photo Booth Supply Co. Instagram is /Photo.
And
Everything
then-
should be /Photo Booth Supply Co.
And so I have to ask, is the website pbsco.com or is it Photo Booth Supply Co?
It's photoboothsupplyco.com.
Nice. Photoboothsupplyco.com. And just for kicks, what's the number? Do you know is it an 800 number? Is it an 888 number?
949-444-2752.
And they'll get a live operator. That's very rare in this industry.
Yeah, you could talk to sales, you could talk to customer experience from there. Yeah.
And tech support, all the same number? And
Yeah,
they'll
customer experience, tech support. Yeah. Mhm.
That's
Same
fantastic.
team.
All right, well, I
sure.
think that's about it. That was an eye-opening experience for us guys, and it's very, thank you so much for the invite. I don't think too many people get to come through here, so I feel very honored that you invited me. I'm very lucky. I do get to see a lot of things that most people don't. And again, check them out, photoboothsupplyco.com. And thank you very much.
Thanks, Rex. Appreciate it.
Until next time.
Until next time.